First of all, let me introduce myself. As he told you, I'm Nadia, I'm 34, and I come from the very north of Italy, near the Swiss Alps. And I've been living here in Mumbai and working for RA Foundation for a little over 1.5 years now, and I consider it a true privilege to be able to learn from this country, despite all challenges, especially being a single woman here. As you can imagine, it's not always easy. So what I would like to say today is especially addressing all our young women here and just tell them that life is full of surprises. Never back down. If you have a dream, a goal, something that really makes you feel happy and content, work hard to get it. And never back down, never take no as an answer, and just never blame yourself for what you can't ignore or for wanting more. Just imagine your life as a blackboard. It's just up to us, to each of you, to decide what to write on it. So I came to India eventually as I decided to put my expertise into action for a better goal, a greater goal, the idea of changing society from within, really helping building up next generation. So, in fact, despite all challenges, for me here it's been really rewarding to work with RA Foundation. I'll just tell you briefly what we do. We work together with Akanshka Teach for India community outreach program with a very extraordinary approach. We are Mumbai based and we take children, talented children from unprivileged backgrounds, mostly from Mumbai slums, and we follow them with an end-to-end holistic program that send them first to boarding school in Panchgani, because it's cheaper there than Mumbai, and also there are English medium schools, and there are very good quality boarding schools. We follow them with regular medical health checks, and also we provide them with the possibility of following elective classes to pursue their talents, music, songs, painting, foreign languages, computer classes. Then we follow them up to college and then help them find a job. So why also boarding school? Because of course, though it's very important that they grow as students and professionally, the environment where they stay and live is key in helping ensure that they can make the most of their well-rounded development and also that they feel safe in a nurturing environment. So not only they receive all this support from us, but also psychological counseling is given to both them and their family in order to make sure that also back home a safe environment is restored. For this reason, during summer vacation, they always go back home to reconnect with their parents or guardians, and also they serve as an example to their community, because as you can imagine, at first, people from slum areas or in their same situation feel a little reluctant in letting them go. They don't know who we are. They think, what will happen to our children? But instead, when they go back and they see our children so happy and also helping others, helping their peers as tutors, helping them with school, seeing the change in their behavior and then the relationship with the family, they also feel inspired too. Our idea is really that if we involve and change next generation, we can really cause change at a larger level. We also work closely with each one of them. We talk to them individually and to their families. In fact, this is why we are small. We now have 40 children, because we want to make sure that we know each one of them, their problems, their issues, and that we can really help them. Also, we work in a way to make sure that there is no administrative cost, so that every rupee is spent for their own good. So, despite all challenges, as I was telling you, coming from Europe and starting living here in India for me wasn't easy, especially because the working culture is very different, besides the lifestyle. But for me, seeing these children grow up and become kids and then young adults, young women, young boys, has been the greatest source of inspiration. Especially I would like to mention to you today two among our oldest, to me they're really young, oldest girls, Renuka and Farin. One who wants to be a journalist and the other one wants to be a psychologist, because both understand the powerful message that they can spread and helping spread awareness, and also because they understand what they receive and they really want to give back to society. We also have wonderful boys too that, for example, would like to become engineers so they could provide affordable, sustainable, and dignified housing for the poor. So looking at their experiences, listening to their stories, which for the most part are really heartbreaking because coming from dysfunctional families, they have a story of psychological abuse, sometimes sexual abuse, or their relatives have problems with alcohol, drug abuse, all these situations. And also making reference to my personal experience, I can really say we are really like phoenixes that rise from the flames and are never destroyed by fire. So really, sky's the limit. Never back down. Never take no as an answer. Accept life in its ups and downs alike, because this just prepares you better to achieve your goals. So really treasure its teachings. And also, we are all made of energy that cannot be destroyed, right? Though we cannot have a grasp on the outside world, we can surely decide how to mold ourselves and our life. Education can really free ourselves from class barriers and from the clutches of poverty. But it's together with dedication, curiosity, and hard work that keeping our goal in mind can eventually make us ready to grasp the opportunities that life offers us when we see them. It's really easy to say, but true. Always learn from the most discouraging events, because you also want to grow both professionally and also personally. Of course, our goal in mind is a career, but we don't want to be just professionals. We want to grow as individuals. So, a bit about me. I started traveling by myself when I was 15 because I've always found that there's not enough time in our life, and as far as we know it, we only have one life. There's not enough time to explore all there is out there, and I've always had this very vivid desire to get to know more the world in its landscape, but also in its people, various cultures, habits, languages. So I've always believed that true knowledge is not only just what you learn academically, but it's a combination of what you learn in school and also what you learn by the people you know every day, by other cultures, their habits, their traditions, their beliefs. And actually, I've always devoured books too, and a turning point happened to me when I was really young. I was only 12, and I read this book called Nothing and So Be It, written by the first Italian woman reporter. It was a diary that she wrote from Vietnam, since when she was 18, she decided to follow the army there and report the events. And she was writing this diary to a little sister that she was waiting for her back in Florence. It's a very touching diary. It's a book, actually. But reading about her adventures, how she was really analyzing human reaction to conflicts, her passion, and also the difficulties, really inspired me. And I thought, I want to be a war reporter too. So I started working really hard, and eventually that led me to win a scholarship to go and study in the US. Once there, not only I followed the regular syllabus, but I tried to take as many elective classes as possible to really make the most of this chance that I was given. Especially, don't think that I'm daddy's girl. Things never came easy. So on one side, I received a scholarship, but I was also working hard to support my education. And to all of you that think, oh, maybe I can't afford it, I can make it, and people that tell you you can't really manage working and studying at the same time, it is really possible if this is dear to your heart. So don't ever be discouraged. Just follow your own inclination and inspirations and try to listen to yourself and work hard for it. To cut things short, my enthusiasm also led me to be admitted to the oldest and among the most reputable journalism schools in the US, as in fact I wanted to be a reporter. Because at first, this school would accept international students only coming from other journalism partner schools. But I requested the principal to meet me. And when he talked to me, he saw my dedication, my drive, my desire. He eventually let me in. And this is what I like the most about the States, that they really support you if they see that you are sincere and that you are committed. They never tell you no. They always give you a chance, and then it's up to you to make the most of it. And this is in true spirit of the emblem, the icon of the nation, the self-made man, in my case, woman. So not only I was enrolled in their classes, but I also had the privilege to work as a reporter for the local newspaper, a feature writer for an entertainment magazine, and most importantly, for a very reputed magazine called IPI Global Journalist that monitors the freedom of the press internationally. For me, it was a very eye-opening experience because being co-editor there, I was every day in touch with journalists scattered all around the world, most from really troublesome countries, and they were reporting about news events, fishy political and economical facts that nobody else would report. So many times it happened that their life was also in danger for exposing these facts. So we had to find ways to get in touch with them and still, keep them safe. It was an amazing experience for me. And at the same time, I continued pursuing my studies in women issues, anthropology, sociology, because really I wanted to get a full-faceted idea of the humankind. And on this note, I really recommend you discover the amazing bio research and work by Margaret Mead. She was a pioneer and forerunner in anthropology at the beginning of the 20th century. What she found out really laid the basis for the subsequent sexual revolution that happened in the States in the 50s and 60s. Though her husband, actually one of the three husbands, because she was a pioneer in her private life too, George Bateson, got a much wider international exposure being a man. So inspired by her research and her findings, and also by the other studies that I was conducting, I decided to write a thesis for an advanced master's degree, analyzing the portrayal of women in the media, in media products, especially comparing American, European, and Asian, with a focus on China, Japan, and Korea, their cultural products, and also the attitudes and media consumptions of people. So nowadays, if you look at it, we're really tricked into thinking that we have reached gender equality. But if you really take a closer look on how women are still portrayed in the media and in ads, what is expected from us, the peer pressure that we receive, cultural pressure, social pressure, and the subtleties of these pressures, really, we should all be aware of that and be more careful, because only if we recognize these stereotypes and biases, we can really fight against them. Then I went on to an additional study exchange in Korea, South Korea, to Seoul, and that has been so far the greatest time of my life. I really had so much to learn from that country and from their culture. Then I moved on to China, because at that time I was also developing a further research comparing World Cup, Football World Cup, and Olympic Games from 2000 onwards, and how in the opening, closing ceremonies, cultural messages were conveyed to an international audience that, of course, had different ways to read and understand what was being staged at that moment. And I also studied their economical, cultural, and social impact. So my study and work adventures eventually led me also to Finland, and then to back home, Italy. Though at that point of time, I had a little bit shifted and was more concentrated on cultural events. So I was promoting art, curating art exhibition, working with filmmakers. And after a while, I just looked at the environment where I was working, sometimes getting crazy over artists and their requests, and thinking, why shouldn't I put into service what I've learned so far, what I've studied so far, to really try to do something meaningful, not setting up an extraordinary art exhibition and write a very interesting catalog, but really try to have an impact. So this is why I landed here, and I really feel grateful to India for having accepted me. I don't know how long I will be staying here, but one thing I can for sure tell you, especially to all young women here, let's support each other, let's stick together, because many times we are our true enemies. After all, we are the one that most times grow up our children, especially sons, to be gender biased. So please, let's all think twice to what we are doing and try to change and really help each other, listen to ourselves, and do what our hearts tell us. Never let anything back you down. Just learn from the ups and downs of life and from all challenges to be a better person and also helping others. So my best wishes is just to tell you the sky is really the limit. Just be ready to catch what life offers you, and all the best. Thank you.